Hey folks, listen, I just wanted to give everybody some context and address last night's meeting. The first thing I want to say is that last night's meeting, in my opinion, was a complete success, a total success. And I'll explain why as simply as I can. And Lukman, you were concerned about our turnout and what that says about our work. I don't think you're wrong either, but I don't think that's the whole story. Can we do better? Of course. Should we do better? Of course. Will we do better? Absolutely. Did we do a great last night? Yes, we did. Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to go back to the 10% rule of marketing, which I've told you about before. Everything in marketing and promotion is a numbers game. The more eyes on you, the greater the interest and awareness of what it is you're doing. That's how YouTube works. That's how Coors Beer works. That's how every television show works. That's how recording artists like myself work. The more eyes we get on what we do, the more revenue and attention and engagements and relationships we create. Having said that, if you do everything right, your flyer is accurate, it's attractive, it's compelling to the people who need to see it, there's no hurricane, there's no disaster, there's no incorrect data, you should assume that for every batch of people you send to, 10% of the people will show up and be engaged. Having said that, we have 254 people on our mailing list. Okay? We have an email program that shows us how many people actually open our emails. We exposed 254 people to this event 3 times last week through 3 separate emails. The click open rate was about 20%. So already we're 10% above many situations, the standard. So 20% of the people opened. That's 54 people looked at our email 3 times on average last week. We put a big poster downstairs the day before the event. Now that poster had multiple events still relevant, including Wednesday's, this coming Wednesday's COVID testing. And then we did not go door to door with 560 flyers. That requires like a 10-person team, 5 people per building really to do that right. And I made a judgment call that on short notice with our limited resources, that wasn't the best bang for our buck at this point. So what we did was we gave out flyers in the lobby and outside the building the day before the event. Gave out about 140 flyers. 140 flyers, 54 people opening emails. Call that 194 engagements. 10% of 194 is 19.4. So going by the 10% rule, if we got 19, call it 20 people, we'd be doing good. We got 35 people. We're doing better than the average, okay? Keep that in mind. So what does that tell us? That the stuff we are talking about, the stuff we are promoting, connects with people. So much so that we're doing better than the 10% rule. What does it also tell us? Imagine if that 254 person mailing list was 600, 700, 800. We'd be talking about 80 people on the low end at our meetings. Our meetings would be so well attended we'd have to hold them off site, which is great. And it is my goal. We would only be able to have those kinds of meetings in the summer in the backyard. In the winter, we'd have to find another location. Unless we got new management that would be really cool, like my parents' building when I was a kid. We used to have tennis meetings in our big lobby, which our lobbies could hold 80 people. Another story. So when you look at that in context, we did great. Another important thing. I mentioned the 10% rule, all things being equal. People, shit is not effing equal. We're in a pandemic. I had this conversation with Mr. Barnes earlier today. People are taxed. People are taxed. The fact that we got 35 people to come out says a lot. I'm the president of the attendance organization. I work with you all. We're all committed people, and I know we are taxed. And we take this as our personal responsibility. I've had days during this pandemic where I have just had to shut down. Cut on the TV, sit on the couch, tune out. Family, finances, our cartoon villain president, the virus, my own personal problems, my career, just tune out because it was too much to manage. And I've got a lot of energy and I get refueled by a lot of what I do. And I'm already an engaged person in local politics. and advocacy writ large. Only 55% of Americans vote right now. The last time this country had a 80% turnout rate for a national election was in the 1860s. 1860, 1864. You know why? Emancipation Proclamation. We were at a point where we were deciding what kind of country we were going to be. So people came out to vote. Was slavery going to be ended? People came out to vote. Were black people going to be freed? People came out to vote. We haven't seen numbers like that in 100 years. And right now, the highest voter turnout we've seen in the country is around 1968. What was happening then? A cultural revolution. 61% of America came out to vote. But prior to that, we hadn't seen anything close to that to the 1800s. It's a little off topic, but not. I predict that in this election, you're going to see a voter turnout close to 1968, 60%, maybe higher, maybe 65, maybe 68, maybe 70% of the country is going to turn out to vote. My point is, you're already dealing with a small number of people who have that in them. But in a time of a pandemic, when people don't know where their next dollar is coming from, people are losing jobs, people don't know that there's no rent relief. People don't know if they're going to be evicted or not when the CARES Act comes out. People don't have the mental energy that they might have to come out and then listen to, potentially, as Mr. Barnes put it, more bad news and advocate. But here's what's important. We have the ear of this building. We have the spirit, the momentum of the moment, the Black Lives Matter moment, the pandemic moment, the evil, villain, incompetent president with a strange, treasonous agenda moment. We have all that behind us. People are looking at everything in a different way and saying, I've got to step up because this can't go on anymore. We're in a good place. Trust me. It is on us to act right now. Just can't wait till September. This week, next week, we have to be doing something every week until we get change in this building. That petition is going out in 2 weeks, come hell or high water. Whether I have to do it by myself, which I know I won't because we have a team, it's happening. So keep all that in perspective. And remember this also, when I walked around the building, and I'm sure other people tell you this, I bumped into people who said things that just reminded me that we've always been on the right track. People want change in this building. They're behind us. A lot of people don't know our organization exists. I'm going to do like an Elizabeth Warren. I got a plan for that. We got a plan for that. And at our next executive meeting, I want to talk to you about some simple plans that are going to help us get the word out and keep management off of keep their knee off of our neck, because that's what this is about. I even bumped into a woman who said that she already spoke to an owner of this building who said, and she complained about management, and the owner told her, if you can get 50 people to sign on to removing the management, I'll do it. I wouldn't have known that if we hadn't done outreach, which brings me back to another point. Regular outreach, regular handing out of flyers is essential. It's not something we do just when there's a crisis. It's a proactive thing we have to do as a habit. It has to be a CRC thing that once a month we walk around and hand out flyers, a welcome kit, an introduction kit. People are moving in and out of this building all the time. College students, immigrants, old timers, newcomers. We have to be on it. We can do this. We will do this. We're already doing this, and we're doing it in a pandemic. A word about the councilwoman. When we have our executive meeting, I want to hear from everybody, and I'm going to share you my thoughts on this. I have become less and less concerned with the councilwoman's direct involvement in our plight. She's important, but she's not as important as we may think she is. And I have some specific reasons why, and I will explain those privately with the executive committee. That's it, folks. We did great. Let's keep doing great. I'm going to send out some questionnaires about when we can do the next exec meeting. I would like to do it Thursday evening in the backyard at 7 o'clock. But frankly, Lukman, I'd like you to be here. So if I could coordinate it, we can do a Zoom thing. We might even be able to get Mosley to let us back into the community room, which would make Zoom easier. If we explain to her there's only 7 people and we'll be socially distanced. It's a big ask for the Wicked Witch of the West, but you never know. Lukman, let us know when you're free, when you're back in this area. If it's not any time this week or in the next like 7 days, 5 to 7, we'll do a Zoom thing with you. We'll work it out. The moment is now. History is telling us the moment is now. As I said to Mr. Barnes, there's a direct line between the systemic racism of the entire United States, of this president, the emboldening of racist discriminatory practices as a result of this president, and what is happening here. We have to deal with our own backyard, and we are, and we will. So stay confident, stay focused, and don't be dissuaded. Don't lose any kind of energy or belief that we're not making an impact. We are. Okay. Hope I made that clear. Peace out, everybody. We'll talk soon. And one more thing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a group effort. We're all doing this together. Thank you. I'm so grateful that we have this team. I've heard little bits from everybody, some on the phone, some via text. I've gotten feedback. Grateful. Grateful, grateful, grateful. We're going to do this. Okay. Bye, everybody.